Welcome to this internet therapy session, the first time I've tried this. That was then, but this is now. But fuck me, it still hurts. My apologies for the strong language, but I do have a conviction that strong language is useful when it's proportional to the strength of feeling involved. Share your pain with me and gain strength from the sharing. There's something of a cliche about this, but the cliche I think does hold true. As I filmed this, bulk of this a couple of weeks ago, I've interacted with a few folk on this since, and it does seem to be, I think, the case that sharing difficult things appropriately does seem to help. If you want to share with how you've dealt with difficult situations, do just leave a comment, interact, like. I've been wanting and chewing over making this video for a very long time. And this is a really, really difficult place for me to be in. Not been in this place since it happened. Been close due to a car recovery changeover at Knutsford North side, but never came up the steps to the food area. And just a few feet away, probably, is that's where we told my children that our marriage was breaking up, that mum and dad weren't going to live together anymore. And I remember telling them here, and it felt like for a short while they were okay with it, but those moments where like time took on a different quality, so what probably was seconds felt much longer. And then, one by one, their faces crumpled. And you could see that their worlds were imploding. Oh God, now you can see this is difficult for me. And for years we came here because we thought we wouldn't have to come here again. Didn't want the children to associate it with a place that they knew, being told mum and dad were splitting up. But hey, guess what? This service station sits over the motorway, where then in the years that followed I would be travelling an awful lot more. And even now, a couple of decades later, it still bites. It's a very visceral feeling, you feel it in your gut. And so how do you resolve being around places that cause you hurt? And you have to go past them again and again. Right, on to Keel Services. This is Keel Services and I'm on the northbound side. Early September 1992. Stopped here with my dad for breakfast. And yeah, it was an original place of separation. I'd left a job that I really, really loved, and I'd been being bullied in that job by management, and I didn't know how to resolve that. Didn't know how to cope with it, how to deal with it. I panicked and convinced myself it was necessary for me to go and do a course, a degree, more than 200 miles away, up north in Manchester. So early September 1992, my dad agrees to take me up to Manchester, like 450-mile round trip for him. And get about an hour from Manchester, which is here in usual traffic. And it took me many years to kind of realise that my parents had feelings too, and I know that my leaving and this journey wounded my dad deeply, and that doing a huge drive to take me and loads of stuff to a new life would mean the end of part of his life. I know these things are obvious, but when you're young and you're lost in your ideas, lost in your feelings, or even not when you're young, you don't really know the consequences of what you're doing. My dad and I just sat kind of just over there, and I remember us sitting there and that sense of impending finality. And I remember when my dad dropped me off at college in South Manchester, and I went to my room and I wept for ages. And I know from conversations I've had with my dad since that he cried most of his journey back. So yeah, it's a difficult place being in. This here was a key moment in shaping my life and my parents' life, and I still feel the separation, the cut, which is kind of represented by here. And Dad, I'm so sorry. Oh yeah. So I think most of us have to go past places, be in places, might even be our homes where we have to live. And it's difficult. So what do you do to lessen that? I'm hoping this kind of bit of a revisitation therapy, internet therapy, sharing a bit of my heart and soul, perhaps might do something. I don't know. Really, it just comes down to accepting it. That you know it's got to happen, and the impact lessens, but the impact is still there. As I've come past more and more over the years, I can feel as I go underneath on the northbound side, it doesn't punch quite so much, but having walked up the steps this morning and sitting here, you can feel it really deep in your gut, like a twist, like a punch. I quite like that as I pulled up here, there is a nice sunrise happening. Kind of feels like a new day, a new start. And while we have the memories and feelings of yesterday, it is a new start. Felt kind of meaningful. What do we make of all of this? I think accepting that things cause pain. They do. To say otherwise isn't true, and we just got to blunt truth. It happens. Being aware of the consequences that those circumstances brought to us for changes. And as I said at the intro, talking with others, there is a certain degree of release. There is a companionship, a fellowship of suffering, if you like, in sharing it with others, and they have their pain. You have yours. Hey, kind of welcome to humanity thing. And recognizing that the demons are there and that the ghosts are there. Perhaps they will fade with time, but when you have those memories, those associations pop up, like, hello ghosts. When you have to stare them in the face closely, like, hello demons, yes, I know that you're still there, but you're not there all the time in my face. It's a transitory circumstance and it will pass. Time's moving on, and I really do need to finish this video. So if you want to add something constructively, something positively, please do interact. And a little bit full of trepidation putting this one out. So seeing on how this goes, I may yet do more thoughtful mental health videos. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, interact. And you know that's very helpful for me to grow the channel. And this also gives me encouragement too. So thank you. And bless you, especially if you've made it to the end of this. Take care.